Tonight, potential electoral boundary changes on the horizon across the Spencer Gulf. And a Port Augusta driver caught allegedly 5 times over the legal alcohol limit on Melbourne Cup Day.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. The proposed electoral boundary changes have been left in limbo, with the draft released almost 3 months ago. The member for Frome is urging the Commission to release the final copy sooner rather than later to give residents some clarity on where the new electorate will be.
An electoral boundary shake-up that may cause a stir. After months of limbo, there are now fresh calls for answers.
I do ask them to make their decision sooner than later so that the general public in themselves know where we're going to be going.
Under the draft plan, Port Pirie would be moved to the electorate region of Stewart, with other council areas joining such as Port Augusta and Waiala in Giles. Despite being an independent member, Jeff Brock says final changes should be revealed as soon as possible for all parties involved.
They need to understand where the new boundaries are going to go so they can have their pre-selected candidates for 2022. They haven't picked them yet because they don't know where the boundaries are. The other issue I'm getting is that the confusion from the people, the general public themselves, are very confused as to why this is happening.
In a statement, Stewart MP Dan Van Holst Pelican says significant changes were made 4 years ago to the proposed draft, but minimal changes were made to the final version. David Gully from the Electoral District Boundary Commission also detailing public feedback closed at the end of September, and the final copy will be released around mid-November following important consultations. But one thing's for certain, Jeff Brock will be remaining loyal to Port Pirie no matter the outcome.
That is where my heart is and that's where my family is, and so whichever seat, whether it's Frome, the new Frome or the new Stewart, whichever one Port Pirie is in, that's the one I'll be running for.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A 20-year-old Ceduna woman was involved in a serious car incident just outside of the Spencer Gulf last night. Police say the driver fell out of a moving vehicle at Kuniba, northwest of Ceduna, after 7 p.m. She was taken to hospital and then airlifted to Adelaide with life-threatening injuries. Investigations have continued today. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. 2 teenage males have been arrested and charged following a dramatic police pursuit from Waiala to Port Pirie this morning. It's alleged 2 separate cars were stolen from Waiala just after 5. One was found abandoned on the Lincoln Highway south of Port Augusta. Police say just after 7 a.m, road spikes were used to stop the second vehicle near Warnertown, where 2 youths fled the scene and a police chase took off.
With the help of the police helicopter and police dogs, we were able to successfully apprehend both suspects in a very short period of time.
The 2 Adelaide teenagers, aged 15 and 16, were charged with a raft of offences, including aggravated serious criminal trespass, and they appeared in court today. Meanwhile, Melbourne Cup Day saw increased police patrols across the state, ensuring road users were doing the right thing. 3 vehicles were impounded and a further 3 drivers were issued with an immediate loss of licence. 20 South Australians were also detected driving over the legal blood alcohol limit. The highest, a 55-year-old Waiala Stewart man who failed to stop in Port Augusta and allegedly recorded a reading of 0.236, nearly 5 times over the legal limit. He will appear in court at a later date. A decision is yet to be made around what will happen to Waiala's remaining high schools once the brand new secondary school is up and running. The member for Giles is calling for a decision to be made soon, suggesting one of the facilities should be turned into a new sporting hub.
This brand new $100 million high school bringing a lot of excitement to the city of Waiala.
The new high school is going to be absolutely fantastic. When it's done, it's going to blow people's minds away, just the sheer quality of it.
But a question mark still hovers as to what the future entails for the remaining facilities once the move is in full swing.
The important thing is to ensure that the surplus sites have another life. The primary school will still be at Stuart High and there's other potential uses for the buildings there.
The Education Minister John Gardner says the government is in active discussions with local council and stakeholders about the future use of the sites. As for Air High, Eddie Hughes says there should be big plans in place.
Air High, in the centre of our city, I believe, needs to be a serious contemporary sport hub.
This iconic building and surrounding land, currently known as Waiala High School, is completely owned by the state.
It's all Crown land, and there needs to be a proper master planning exercise with serious community engagement.
In a statement, the Waiala City Council says it will be meeting with the Premier and his representatives this week to discuss the future of state government land. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, a Port Lincoln man charged over abalone offences and what a potential wine tariff could mean for locals in the industry. Welcome back. A 70-year-old Ceduna man has been banned from fishing for 10 years and fined almost $11,000 for a second time. Nicholas Karagianis allegedly ignored a court order preventing him from catching abalone. He pleaded guilty in the Elizabeth Magistrates Court on Thursday to contravening a court order by possessing a prescribed aquatic resource. Primary Industries officers intercepted his boat off St Peter's Island near Ceduna in 2018. It's alleged to have found 3 undersized greenslip abalone and equipment to catch the species. Tensions are rising with more speculations China could proceed with imposing tariffs on several Australian goods, including wine and lobster. South Australia's winemakers are preparing for what the future will hold for its exports and predicting a range of outcomes such as mild to severe tariffs. The member for Grey is raising concerns, with Clare Valley Winery set to be one of the hardest hit.
They need our products as bad as we need their markets, and that in the end things will settle down. But it's certainly very unsettling at the moment, and I just urge people to keep their calm.
Is world class, not only in the quality of wine produced, but also in its economic practices. It's not subsidised, doesn't engage in dumping, it operates in a highly commercial environment.
The Trade Minister also saying he's seeking more information with uncertain and inconsistent messages from China. Port Augusta residents have taken to social media calling for an extension of the artwork on the pipeline at Bird Lake. They say it would enhance the entrance to the city and could even attract visitors and art enthusiasts.
Adding a pop of colour to the entrance of the city. Locals have taken to social media to share their ideas of extending the Aboriginal artwork on the pipeline at Bird Lake.
I was surprised how good it looked after it was done. Looks really good, and I thought to myself, well, continuing the rainbow serpent theme, we could actually probably extend it the full length of the highway, just about on the way into Port Augusta.
With the previous section of pipeline artwork funded by SA Water in partnership with Council, locals are rallying together to see their ideas come to life.
Quite a few people had the same idea already, so should be well supported, I would think.
The Stewart MP offering his support, saying the outcome would only be positive.
And I'd love to see that continue. I think it's very, very possible to have a partnership between SA Water and Council and whoever else needs to be involved.
City Council also backing the idea.
Work with SA Water and community groups, and also with, I encourage our new renewable partners to look at putting in some dollars to allow this to continue to leave their mark in our city in a positive way.
In a statement, SA Water says it supports the extension of artwork and is open to working with local groups to enable access.
Started a Facebook group, Port Augusta New Attractions, and looking for anyone with any ideas, anyone with spare time to volunteer and give us a hand, and maybe we can turn some ideas into reality.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. A Waiala aged care facility receives much needed equipment for residents. And a preview into local events and celebrations for NAIDOC Week. Hello again. A Waiala aged care facility has been the lucky recipient of a much needed piece of equipment set to help older residents get in and out of bed easily. The Mount Laura Lions Club donating the $2,500 machine as a way of giving back to the community.
Taking off the wrapping on this shiny new piece of equipment, it's a simple lifting machine set to go a long way here at Waiala's Copperhouse Court.
Some of our residents are non-weight bearing, therefore not able to stand or mobilise themselves from bed to chair or chair to bed, vice versa.
Using this specially made harness, the equipment can now allow care workers to easily lift the residents, ensuring they can get out of bed safely each day.
So beneficial for us as an organisation. As you know, equipment are very expensive, and just having someone sponsoring an equipment that is utilised daily is very beneficial.
The Mount Laura Lions Club seeing the need for support after a recent expansion of the facility meant more residents to care for daily.
The decision was made that we would purchase this for them to help them out because they needed one extra lift because of the extensions that they've put on.
The club using its fundraising savings to give back to the community at a time when it's needed most.
It's been very difficult to raise money this year because of COVID, but we did have some extra funds in our account that needed to be funded back into the community, so we felt this is worthwhile.
And along with this lifting machine comes the lifting of restrictions to South Australia's aged care facilities. Visits are no longer restricted to one person and volunteers can now re-enter. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Donations for back-to-school vouchers in the Eyre Peninsula are set to double in value. Tax-deductible donations can be made to the Eyre Peninsula Community Foundation to then be distributed around local schools. The initiative aims to support and encourage students in their educational pathways, more important than ever following a tough year. Donations can be made online. Port Augusta is gearing up for its NAIDOC Week celebrations, releasing a program of events to the community. The week is expected to be fun-filled and action-packed, celebrating and acknowledging Aboriginal history and achievements.
Always was and always will be. Preparations for NAIDOC Week celebrations are in full swing, with organisers saying they're grateful to be able to recognise Aboriginal people, history and culture.
We're getting excited because NAIDOC Week is a time for us to celebrate who we are, celebrate our culture, celebrate our language and celebrate our story.
With the National Week postponed earlier this year due to COVID-19, community members say they're looking forward to the activities on offer.
I think the community really does get behind it every time that NAIDOC comes up. It's a bit of that, just looking at Christmas sort of type thing. So, the whole community gets around it and it's great fun to be involved in all the events.
Bringing locals together through events, with the pandemic creating some new live and virtual editions. Organisers say popular events will include the Pickawea Dance Troupe, yarns around the campfire, chalk art and artwork displays.
Actually looking forward to all the live stuff at the moment, the virtual ball, which is pretty interesting. So, because I'm going to be one of the DJs and the MC, so it'll be pretty interesting to see where everybody is in the world.
Residents are encouraged to immerse themselves in next week's celebrations.
Come check it out next week and just, enjoy yourselves for next week.
Come down, enjoy and participate and celebrate together during NAIDOC, because NAIDOC is about celebration.
The program of events can be found at Umiwara Media's Facebook page. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our cricket experts will join us with this weekend's hot tips, and we'll have the weather details with Alex. Welcome back. It's that time of the week again, with another bumper weekend of cricket action across the region ahead of us. Here's our experts with their tips.
Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Waiala Cricket Association. The first match of the round sees Central Waiala taking on West. Scott Collison comes back for Centrals, and I think they're going to be way too strong for West. I'm tipping Centrals in this one. On Sunday we see North Waiala take on Roos. Both teams after a win are going to feel confident, but I think I'm going to pick North in a close one.
Yeah, g'day and welcome to round 4 of Port Augusta Cricket Tips. This week we see Corn take on Central Stirling and Corn. This should be a good match. Both sides are in winning form. I want to tip Central Stirling, but because it's played in Corn, I will lean towards Corn. The other match sees South Augusta take on West Augusta at Etsa. Westies have not won a match yet. Westies need to have a good look at their batting lineup. Their bowling is good. The batting needs a lot to be desired. So, having said that, I'm going to lean towards South Augusta to beat West Augusta.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. Last week's round went as expected, and this week sees another really big round of cricket. First up is Tasman's and Lincoln Souths out at Ravendale. Tasman should be too strong here and get the job done. Next game sees Waybacks and Southern Air here at Centenary Oval. This will be match of the round. Think though that Southern Air will be way too strong in this one and easily account for the Waybacks side. And in the final game is Todd River and Charlton out at Dorwood. Todd River a young side this year, Charlton a lot of experience, Charlton will get the job done. Thanks for listening to the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Hello and welcome to round 5 of Port Pirie Cricket Tips. We start with Southport taking on Props here at Memorial Oval with a 10:30 start. Both teams are coming off losses, so they'll both be looking to get back in the winner's circle. I'll be tipping Props. Over at Port Oval, it's Port Germain taking on Wandera, also at 10:30. Port Germain had a huge win over Southport last week and will be looking to continue that form this week. I'm tipping Port Germain.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex.
Thanks, Ruby. It was mainly fine conditions across the region. From 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta sunny, reaching a max of 22 degrees. Port Pirie mostly sunny and got to a top of 21. Partly cloudy at Coffin Bay, a max of 17 degrees. Looking further across the region now, Cooper Pedy got to a top of 26. Waiala mostly sunny, a max of 19. 22 mostly fine in Broken Hill and Woodna. Port Lincoln cloudy, reaching a high of 18 degrees. Kadina and Adelaide were mostly sunny and 18 as well. Let's take a squeeze at the satellite now. Cloud along the central and eastern coast with cool onshore winds is not producing any rain. Thick cloud moving over the far northwest with a trough is generating light rain and the odd storm. Skies are clearer elsewhere under high pressure and a dry air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly to southeasterly winds between 10 and 15 knots. Seas around 1 metre with south to southwesterly swells between 1 and 2 metres. Tomorrow's temperatures now, Port Lincoln mainly fine and a high of 19 degrees. Cleve, cloud clearing and a top of 20. Woodna, mostly sunny and a max of 26. Waiala, sunny and 23. Port Augusta, set to reach a high of 26. Also sunny conditions. Kadina, cloud clearing and a top of 24. Port Pirie, 25 and sunny. Clare, mainly fine day with a high of 21 degrees, and Broken Hill, sunny with clear skies and a maximum temperature of 23 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, and sunny conditions for the region on Sunday. Cooper Pedy and Woodna will both have the region's maximum of 32 degrees. Port Augusta, 31. Broken Hill, Waiala and Kadina all set to reach a top of 27. Port Pirie, a high of 29. Port Lincoln, 23 degrees. Adelaide will get to a high of 26 degrees. Mainly fine conditions with temperatures to warm up on Monday. Cooper Pedy to get to a hot 39 degrees, a degree cooler in Woodna, a top of 38, a high of 37 in Port Augusta. Broken Hill, Waiala and Kadina will all have tops of 33, 35 the top in Port Pirie, and Adelaide will have a mostly sunny day with 32 degrees the top there. It looks like a few showers and thunderstorms on the way on Tuesday. Windy conditions in Cooper Pedy with a max of 39 degrees, showers and 38 in Port Augusta. Possible storms in Woodna with a maximum of 37 degrees, thunderstorms and 36 for Waiala, showers and a top of 33 degrees for Broken Hill. Port Pirie will have possible thunderstorms and a top of 35, and Kadina and Adelaide will have similar conditions with tops of 33. So it's certainly looking like there is a fine and warm weekend for the region. That's all the weather from me tonight. It's back to you, Ruby.
Lovely, thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening and have a safe weekend. Good night.